What's happening, guys? My name is OTG and I'd like to welcome you to episode number 4 of our F1 2012 Career Mode series in Bahrain. And as you can see, we have indeed qualified in 12th position with Sebastian Vettel, Hamilton, Grosjean, all them cars around us. Wasn't the best qualifying in the world, but it was okay. Hopefully we can improve us qualifying as the season goes along. But of course, we're in the Williams and we get off to a really good start on the first lap. And I was enjoying myself, and then that happens. Somebody explain to me what happened. I mean, I was just looking around to see what was going on. I was a little bit annoyed of why I got a penalty. I thought I'd done that pretty cleanly, but quite clearly not. But we just go and restart. There's no problem with that. See, we're pretty good at doing that. We never do get off to the best start in the first time round. So in our second attempt, we get off to a just as good start, really, into the rich fuel mix. A lot faster than Sebastian Vettel and Romain Grosjean, it seems. So they're obviously short shifting. Hamilton is absolutely flying. Vettel makes a return. We brake and we brake and we brake and we get that perfectly. I mean, we was lucky not to hit Perez, but we get up into 6th place behind Mark Webber. But now we're going to be chasing them. We have some curves. Going to use a little bit, but I don't know if we'll use a little bit. I don't think we're just going to save it. Mark Webber brakes late. So does Perez. So does Button. Look at Button, but we do not get. Going to go around the outside of Button, around one of the corners if we can. We might go. We're going to go take the racing line as he goes a little bit wide of the racing line, and we just take it perfectly. And it compromised the way he was driving because he wasn't on the racing line. So we're up into 3rd place now. Obviously the AI are pretty slow on the first lap, and once again Kobayashi and Fernando Alonso are getting ahead of the pack, and that happens. That is literally my least favourite corner of the whole entire F1 2012 season. I mean, I hate that corner with a passion. With ABS off, it is so difficult, and I have yet to master it. So I go straight onto the rear brakes. So if anyone can give me any pointers on how to do it, I normally would just cut the corner, not cut the corner, just brake my own little way, and that normally works. But we're gonna have to really try and do our best. We're up into 3rd place. Button is chasing us. Kobayashi is getting away from us, and so is Alonso. So, you know, that is our main problem. If we can qualify higher, then we might be able to get into a starting position into 1st. You know, we could end up qualifying pole and then just taking it from there. That's our main goal, really. My main goal is to win a race this season, and hopefully halfway through get an offer from Lotus or Mercedes, and then have a rival of one of the McLarens, Ferraris or Red Bulls. Because if next season we can be at Red Bull Racing or one of them teams, that would be really good for us. And after this race, we have my favourite track of all time, Catalonia, the Spanish Grand Prix. I am so good around that track. I hit the apexes like they were, I don't know how, like I'm a boxer. I hit them so hard. I am David Hay on that circuit. And we're coming up now onto the first corner on the 2nd lap, and we are actually starting to close the gap a little bit on Kobayashi. So I believe he must have made a mistake of some description. So we're just going to really try and chase him down. We've got a gap between us and Jenson Button. So not even Jenson Button anymore. Sergio Perez has overtaken JB, and JB is in a very bad way. Because recently I've noticed that the McLarens have not been doing that well in races. They started off the strongest team with a Hamilton pole and then a Button pole, and I think they've been winning some races. But Alonso seems to be the odds-on favourite at the moment. He won the last race and he's been getting consistent podiums. So we're going to have to keep an eye out on Fernando Alonso. He could be the odds-on favourite for the world champion. And Sebastian Vettel, he is a black horse, a dark horse in this series. Sergio Perez, though, taking us as we go wide, and we're going to use the curves and hopefully get side by side with the Mexican. We're going to go into this corner side by side. It's really a question of who has the most nerve, and we do in fact have a lot of nerve, and we go into that corner well. I thought I might have hit Perez, but it was actually Perez who hit me. He went very aggressive into that, and I've never seen the AI do this. I've noticed this on co-op as well. They're very aggressive drivers, so yeah, it's just nice to see them battling. But Sergio Perez, he was alongside me. I gave him the room. He broke early and he lost control of his wheel. I don't know what happened. His steering wheel just went crazy, and he hit me, but I was okay. He was okay, so I forgive him. As we come onto the home straight onto lap 3, Sergio Perez will be right down our neck if he has DRS. I do not believe he has it on this lap. It's the lap afterwards. But anyway, he is just absolutely storming us. Doesn't get ahead of us before the braking zone. Give him a gap if he wants to go. And we go into the standard fuel mode, and we are still in 3rd place. I really do think this is going to be the hardest race we're going to have if we're going to defend that position. Perez looks very, very fast, and the Saubers are indeed two of the fastest cars I've seen on this game. They are very, very pacey indeed. We just have to hold our nerve and get the points done. And you know, if we can get third or fourth, that is a really good position, points, and really good place to be after we qualified down in 12th. But our minimum expected was 11th. We're setting the fastest first sector onto the second sector now. Obviously, they're not very fast in the first sector, but they are still very good cars. So, you know, I'm just trying to get away now, and I finally hit that corner. Half decent, you may say, but Perez is right up me. So, it's going to be a really, really interesting one coming onto the main straight with DRS. If I can protect myself, then I will be in every way, shape or form having a positive. But if not, then we'll just have to see how things go. Anything can happen within this season, and I'm just hoping we can start qualifying in the higher positions and also win races a lot more consistently, because my teammate Maldonado has yet to really set a benchmark, as it were, because he's as you might say, he's not as strong of a driver as myself. It seems like he is not going to be getting them points, and you know, Catalunya was in fact the best race for Maldonado all season last, and he is going to hopefully do a good job in the next race. Sergio Perez, though, takes one of the weirdest racing lines I've ever seen. Goes around the outside when there's not even a gap, and I get the he brakes early, and I just got the inside. He can't do an undercut, and you see there, Paul de Resta, or Hulkenberg, I think it's de Resta, is up into 5th, and Perez has lost that position. You know, he shouldn't have broke. He should have been more confident in the braking. And now we're actually onto lap 6, and Perez goes for another move, and this time he's up the inside. Paul de Resta now looking for my inside. I brake late, and I go round the outside, giving Perez room. Perez doesn't in fact take it, and we are staying in 3rd. So Perez and de Resta will be very, very feisty. And if I'm correct, this is my in lap. I make my defensive move. Perez doesn't want to go any further. I think I might have clipped him. It's very, I think that was a bit of a risky move by me, but I took my defensive line and I was okay. And now we're coming into the second sector, not at all a fast sector, because I've had to compromise my braking due to defending and my racing line. As we come up to the hairpin style corner, and we're coming up to my least favourite corner, Kobayashi and Alonso are just miles ahead, and you can see there's a car coming across the start-finish straight, so I can only assume that's a back marker or one of the drivers that got hit and is now very far back. He might be on a different strategy, but Perez is right behind us. He's hogging our slipstream. He's going to wait though for DRS, because that is really the main place to overtake. If I ever get DRS, which I very rarely do with the AI because we're always tracking behind them, hopefully we might get them races where we're chasing after people, but most of the time I'm defending. I go down to the lean fuel mix onto the last sector, and you see there, this is probably one of the worst sectors to do it. This part of the track was absolutely scary for me, and it was just so horrible. And you'll see that I believe Kamui Kobayashi doesn't go into the pits. I'm not sure if he does. No, he does not, which might mean that Perez comes in. If not, then I'm perfectly okay with that, but I don't think Perez does. No, he does in fact at the last minute. No, he doesn't. I'm getting so confused. So Perez and Kobayashi stay out, so they'll be on to longer stints. And you see there Alonso, or whoever that was, coming out of the pits. I cannot confirm who it was. Could be Kobayashi. I think Kobayashi actually did come in the pits. I am so confused now. We come in the pits and it's a decent pit stop. It's hard to see on the mini-map. It's so small on my screen. But we're just coming out the pits, and we've come out in 11th, and Kobayashi did in fact pit. That's why Perez was not in. So that could play in our favour. Perez, I might even come out if he's going out there in front of us. We'll just have to see when it comes around. And you do in fact see now, we're in 3rd place, and I do not know where Perez has come out. So we're up into 3rd, and Perez doesn't seem to be anywhere in sight. Lap 10 with 4 laps to go. We are defending now from Jenson Button, so he has regained himself from where he originally was. And it seems like pitting on the time they set you is always the best option out of the lot. We lock our brakes a little bit, but taking the apex as well as we can. I lose my front tyres and completely go AWOL, and I'm just holding the car together. I feel like the tyres are coming off the cliff there, and they're just starting to wear away. Going to the rich fuel mix just to try and save myself, but I couldn't indeed at all get my braking right with these tyres. I didn't enjoy them at all. I preferred the faster ones, and you'll see here, I remember this corner quite clearly. I go wide, And the two cars that go past me are Jenson Button and Sebastian Vettel. The dark horse Sebastian Vettel, the man I told you, is definitely always up there in the points. You just don't realise him. And in the second half of the season, I reckon he will go for a nice push. But we are down now into 5th place. 5th place is a great position. Just have to defend ourselves against Sergio Perez, making sure I'm on the rich fuel mix, because I want to try and catch these, but it's very unlikely. But we've got Perez, and I know how feisty Sergio is, so we're going to have to defend for our life and just not let him have an ounce of space. Fernando Alonso, though, does in fact set the fastest lap, 2 seconds faster than mine. That just shows you the pace of the Ferrari compared to the Williams, and obviously we are not in the fastest car in the world, because if you remember, the season that we're driving now, Williams had struggled for points, and we're not until the fastest car out there, but they were a competitive car. Sergio Perez, though, with the DRS, looking to take me, and in fact he does nudge me. That is what happened. That's why I went a little bit of a weird way there. He nudges me, and now onto the lap 13, last 2 laps of the race, and Michael Schumacher, Nico Rosberg is the guy who's chasing us. And this could get very interesting, because Rosberg is a car who could be my rival, but I am apparently at the moment better than both Mercedes. And just going back to that Sergio Perez incident, what happened was he had DRS and he hogged my slipstream and just was going so fast that when he tried to turn, his front wing in fact clipped my rear end. That forced me to have, like, it gave me an extra boost, and it made my tyres go a bit weird, and my wheel just was completely, the wheels were just going everywhere and anywhere. I had to try and hold the car together. I just felt it, the car light was just going away from me, and I just held it together on the grass, and that is why Perez spun me. I had to look behind to see what was going on, and I go wide on that corner, and Nico Rosberg takes me, and I am down into 6th position. It will be a very interesting thing to see if Jean-Eric Vergne can get past me. Very unlikely. But Nico Rosberg now has taken the position, and I'm right behind him, but I doubt I'm going to get anywhere. So I'm down into 6th. I was expecting this. I knew it would happen. I am not at all the fastest car on the track. I am not got the fastest piece of machinery beneath me. I'm not sitting in the best car in the world. But I'm sitting in a car that has the ability, but not to chase, to defend. First lap is my most reliable lap. I rely on that lap so much, and then I'm just defending from there on. Hopefully, though, we can push and parry our way into a nice position, though. Hopefully, one day, though, they'll give me the upgrades I need to be one of the competitive cars, just like the Saubers. And, you know, if I do get an offer from one of them teams, I'll have to think it through, because I don't want to leave the Williams team if they do get me a win. But at the same time, I do want to think about, like, the series and my future of how I'm going to do this. Trying to catch Rosberg, but it seems like that was my best chance. Rosberg now is going to get away. It seems like he's got that gap, and that's how it's going to stay. So 6th place is not at all bad. You can see I'm in the pack, and Rosberg's leading this pack into the last lap of the race. It's like me, Rosberg and Vergne, and maybe some other cars there. Set the fastest first sector on the last lap. As they're coming off the cliff, we set the fastest lap. Codemasters Logic, that is my last chance of setting the benchmark and trying to get past him. I was so careful not to hit him. Sadly, though, that is it, guys. If I can get this braking fine, I will take 6th, and I do. 6th place now is in the bag. Jean-Eric Vergne, though, makes an absolute rash move. This could be interesting. It's myself versus Vergne as Alonso wins the race. I was completely convinced I would take this. Jean-Eric Vergne breaks early, and I take the position. And Jean-Eric Vergne now is under pressure. I go down to standard fuel so I don't start to lose fuel, as this is a really crucial time. Jean-Eric Vergne took a really risky move there, as I'm doing a little bit wide for him to go right up my inside, but he wants the position, and we are now defending, but at the same time just driving at a normal cruise control. Jean-Eric Vergne is using all his remaining curves, try and get an advantage on me. Doesn't. I hit the final corner apex perfectly. And guys, that will be that 6th place in the Bahrain Grand Prix. Guys, as we cross the line, our fastest lap was about a 1:38.6 it might have been. That is a shocking lap, but I didn't seem to have the most fast car in the world. Guys, we've reached our objective. We've got points on the board. Hope in a second you will see probably the way the table is for constructors, where I am in the world. So in a second it will come up and I will show you. Guys, thank you for watching. My name is OTG. I'd just like to say see you guys in whatever my next video is. We are 5th in the Constructors Championship. Guys, see you in the next video. Bye.